Scotland, good morning social media land. I hope you're well. It is Thursday, the 15th of April 2025. 3 separate polls, 3 different sources, all saying the same thing. The Scottish people are moving, and they're not drifting aimlessly, they're turning decisively away from the Union. This latest projection from the Diffley partnership puts the SNP ahead on 40% of the constituency vote, with Labour crashing to just 15%. The data shows the SNP are now favoured to win Galloway, Eastwood, Dumbarton, Dumfriesshire, West Aberdeenshire and Shetland, and these are not distant possibilities. They are winnable games that together could push the SNP constituency total to between 58 and 62 seats, a real path to a majority government. A second poll from Find Out Now shows something even more fundamental. 56% of Scots would vote yes to independence in a referendum if it was held today. Support for independence is now ahead in every region except the south, and it holds an overwhelming majority among the young people of Scotland. Then came the third strike. The same Find Out Now poll, analysed this time by Professor John Curtis, projected a Holyrood Parliament made up of 57 SNP MSPs, 15 Green, 7 Alapa, giving pro-independence parties 79 seats in total. That is a 29-seat majority over the combined total of all those unionist parties. But what is more crucial to understand is that 79 pro-independence, pro-Scottish MSPs is 10 more than the SNP majority back in 2011. 10 more. 10 more. 10 more. These are not party press releases. These are not wishful campaign slogans. These are professional polling companies, respected analysts and nationally weighted data all telling us the same thing. The movement is real. The numbers are there. The Vote for Scotland plan is working. We are no longer talking about what we could do. We are seeing what we are actually doing. We can vote for Scotland on the list and deliver a pro-independence opposition. Together with a pro-Scottish government, we lock out Westminster, out of Holyrood, and deafen the pantomime screeches of Anglo-British nationalist Scots who do nothing to benefit Scotland and take their orders from the English Parliament. There is a truth beneath these polls that cannot be ignored. The people of Scotland support independence. The idea is no longer niche or radical. It is now mainstream. 56% of Scots would vote yes if asked tomorrow. That number is not speculative. It is consistent across multiple polls and reinforced by a clear regional shift. Every part of the country, except the south, now leans yes. And that too in the south is changing. Young Scots aged 16 to 29 back independence by a staggering 67%. This is not just about the future, it is also about their present, because this is a generation being crushed by housing costs, by Brexit fallout and Tory Labour consensus on austerity. And they're no longer asking politely for something better, they're demanding it. And they believe that their country, Scotland, as a normal independent nation, will deliver that for them. The people are ahead of the politicians in their understanding of strategically voting. And we cannot deny it's the people who are leading this movement. With the SNP polling at 40% and Labour collapsing to 15%, in key battlegrounds like Dumbarton, Eastwood, Galloway, West Dumfries and Dumfriesshire, Shetland, and who knows where else. The data shows that the SNP wins are not only possible, they are highly probable. Labour is losing working class Scots in droves, not to the Tories, but to the SNP, and even some to that reform cult. Reform, for all its poison, is proving to be a powerful divider. It is splitting the unionist vote, especially in areas the Tories used to count as safe. We should let them. Let them fight each other for the wreckage, and while they do, we'll take their seats that matter. And while we're taking them, we do not let Labour off the hook. We keep piling on the pressure about that not-so-Scottish Labour Party. Anas Sarwar is a quisling, a man who pretends to speak for Scotland while taking orders from a party that has done nothing but betray this country at every turn. Sarwar's boss, Keir, scrapped the WASPI women's compensation, slashed winter fuel payments, refused to reverse the rape clause, and voted to continue austerity cuts. All these issues were promised away by Anas Sarwar, but then he was left red-faced and looking really stupid when English Labour, the real power in the Labour Party, said, "Nah, we're not going to change these policies. We're going to keep them just so we can out-Tory the Tories." But then came the final insult, the twofold betrayal of Grangemouth. First, the English Parliament stated that they would not, could not and will not save Grangemouth. It was a private company and they could not interfere. But they gave Ineos substantial sums of money to help them set up a new refinery in Europe and left Grangemouth hanging out to rot. But when Scunthorpe Steelworks was under threat to another private company, the English government moved with urgency. They recalled both Westminster houses and rushed through legislation that would allow them to take ownership of Scunthorpe. But Grangemouth, Scotland's only oil refinery, what did they do there? Nothing. No legislation, no intervention, just silence. They saved English steel and they sacrificed Scotland's only oil refinery. That is who Anas Sarwar represents. That's who he answers to, and he dares to ask us for our votes. Do you think if a refinery like Grangemouth was situated south of the border, they would have done the same? I don't think so. When we come to voting in 2026, we must remember Grangemouth. But voting against the union is not enough. We must vote with precision. Holyrood's additional member system can either split our movement or secure it. That choice is ours. The polling that gave us 57 SNP seats also showed that the Greens would take 15 and Alapa would take 7, because people are finally learning how to vote tactically. SNP dominance in the constituencies makes it almost impossible for them to gain any seats on the list. And that's not a flaw. That is how the system works. The list seats exist to level out over-representation, which means every time we give the SNP a second vote, we're handing a gift to unionist parties. That's why SNP 1, Indy 2 is not gaming the system. It's mastering it. And it's the only reason we're looking at a pro-independent supermajority on those polls. Ignore the provocateurs who say otherwise. They're cowards. They cannot see past the old boots and dusty suits of Westminster. But we can. If you're in the Highlands, in Lothian, in Glasgow, in central Scotland, give your second vote to a list-only pro-Indy party, Greens, Alapa, ISP, even the New Scottish Party if they stand. Even pro-Indy independents. The movement is wide and we should use it. It's a different story in southern Scotland though. It will be tough to win constituencies for the SNP there. The south is not lost. It is simply last. And we will not abandon it. We need to fight for it. The data says the rest of the country is already yes. And that means the south becomes the front line. We campaign harder, we organise better, we turn up louder. We make the case to our brothers and sisters and turn them into pro-Scottish Scots rather than pro-Union Scots. It will be a tough gig, but we can do this. We also need to look at the polling closer to the time to decide whether the South should vote SNP 1 and 2. Do you know what? It may work down there, but it's still a gamble. It delivered one seat with 136,000 votes on the list in 2021. However, if those votes had gone to another independence party just on the list, it would have delivered 4 pro-Scottish seats. If the numbers voted that way, 4 seats would have been guaranteed. And that's massive. The numbers just don't lie. Incidentally, if you're not too sure how the list seats are allocated, there is a great presentation on the Holyrood website. The link for it is in the description of this video, or you can screen capture this image and use the QR code. The undecided voters that are the final 7% that we need to convince are watching us. They're watching how we behave, how we speak to one another, and how we fight, and whether we unite. They're not looking for the perfect party. They're looking for a serious movement, one that looks like a country ready to lead itself. We must grow into that. We must show maturity, show discipline, show that we're not just angry, but we're organised. For them, it's not about Alpa or the Greens or the SNP. It's about doing what's right for them. And we need to behave in such a way that they will listen to us rather than watching a relentless tag team of insults and my dad is bigger than your dad sort of rhetoric. So let's make this movement that will win the hearts and minds of the undecided, and then we can make history. This is about Scotland. This is about voting for Scotland and making Holyrood a parliament full of people who answer to Scotland and Scotland alone. This is what you activists have fought for. Every banner raised, every stall run in the rain, every doorstep debate, every leaflet drop, every online battle fought to exhaustion. It has brought us all to this. You did this. You carried us here, and now it is time to finish what we've started. And to all those uncertain, those who have only known the Union their whole lives, we ask with respect and clarity, do you truly believe Westminster will protect your grandchildren the way that you hoped it would protect you? Do you really believe that a parliament in London sees value in your home, your hospital, your heat, your energy beyond what it can take from you? Because your country still believes in you. It wants a better future for you, and she's waiting for you to believe in her again. And to the future of our nation, our young voters, our sons and daughters, our grandchildren, who can see the benefits of self-determination even when others cannot. This is your moment right now. You don't need permission. You don't need a political party. You just need to show up and vote like your future depends on it. Because it does. The nation is yours to claim, not one to inherit quietly. You need to come and claim it with passion and noise. People of the South, we see you. You are not forgotten. You are not enemies. You are not truly behind. You are the front line. And when you move, the whole country will shift with you. So now we ask to everyone, What are we waiting for? Another betrayal, another closure, another empty promise from a man in a red tie and an English whip in his hand. How many more chances do we give them to sell off what little we have left? How long do we sit quietly while our future, our energy, our land, our vote is stripped away? Or do we stand? Do we finally vote like one people, one movement? Do we vote with strategy, with unity, with purpose? In the back of your mind, you know what is right for our nation. Don't be afraid of the unknown. If you think about it, the unknown cannot be any worse than what we already know about Scotland in this union. Vote for Scotland.